What's up, y'all, and welcome back to my channel. The day has finally come. My CXC Beauty palettes are here and we're gonna play with them. We're gonna test out this formula, create a couple of looks with each palette. So I had originally planned on doing a separate video for each one, a dedicated video, have you, and everything kind of showed up at once. So I'm a little overwhelmed. I have a lot of stuff sitting here to try, to test, to play with. I'm excited about it. So basically we're going to do a double feature today. So we're going to play with both of these palettes. I want to create 2 looks with each palette. I will create more looks in the future over on Instagram as a reel and here on YouTube as a short. So these won't be the only looks created. They're just going to be the only looks in these palettes. But let me give you a quick little rundown on these palettes real quick, show you some swatches, and then we'll jump into the actual looks. So let's go ahead and start with the Sweet Dreams palette right here. Both of these palettes actually retail for $59. You can get a bundle of both of them, and that bundle retails for $105. So you're saving, what is that, $13 by bundling them together. But this is the Sweet Dreams palette. I love the packaging. I think this is absolutely beautiful. This is like acrylic plastic packaging, but it feels sturdy. It doesn't feel cheap. It doesn't feel like, you know, whenever you get sometimes plastic and it just feels like real flimsy. This does not feel flimsy. And this also, I do want to say, these palettes were so incredibly packaged. I have never received eyeshadow palettes from any brand packaged as well as these were. First of all, the palettes on the inside, they had like a little styrofoam piece laying over top to protect the shades and the mirror, and then they were wrapped in bubble wrap, wrapped in tissue paper, wrapped in more bubble wrap, put into a box that was lined and covered with bubble wrap. So kudos to CXC for that. I love that so much because I always get really nervous when I order an eyeshadow palette. I'm afraid it's going to arrive broken. But back to the palettes. So this is the Sweet Dreams palette. I love the cover art. I think it's so beautiful, and the cover art definitely matches the color story on the inside. Let me see if I can get this open. So we do have a really nice palette in here, or a really nice mirror in here. There we go. I don't want to blind you, but this is our color story of the Sweet Dreams palette. I just absolutely love this. I did have like a little bit of some chipping on this shade and I think this shade over here, but nothing fell out, nothing's broken. We are good to go. So this palette does have 21 shades. It is all like pinks and yellows and just beautiful sparkly shades. I absolutely love it. I think this reminds me of like strawberry lemonade, and it makes me crave summer. But I do want to let you know that this palette does also come in a smaller 9-pan version as well. I will pop up a picture of it so you can see, and that retails for $29. So if you're curious like about the formula, you like the color story, but you don't want anything this big, there are 9 pans of actually both of these palettes. But that is the Sweet Dreams palette. Beautiful. I love it. I really like the color story in this one. And then the next one is the beautiful Nightmare palette. Now this one has the black around the edge, same kind of packaging, same plastic packaging, very sturdy, very beautiful, wrapped the same way. I love that beast on the front. I think he just looks so cool, so intimidating, and I just love it. These two together I think go hand in hand. But this one also retails for $59. Both of these palettes are currently available on their website, and this is what the color story looks of this one. So you can see why I was so immediately attracted to this color story. It is purple, it is blue, and it is absolutely beautiful. This one also comes in a 9-pan mini as well that retails for $29. So if you like the color story but you want something a little more scaled down and curated, you can do that as well. But I think that is about the rundown of these palettes. Absolutely beautiful. I'm excited to jump into them, create some different looks. So I'm going to go ahead and zoom y'all in just a little bit, tuck my hair back, and we're going to create 2 looks with the beautiful Nightmare palette and the Sweet Dreams palette as well. All right, y'all, I've zoomed you in. My hair is out of my face. I did go in and prime my eyes with my Natasha Denona eyeshadow base. So let's jump into this. We're gonna go ahead and start with the Beautiful Nightmare palette. I'm excited about this one. I love the color story. I love both, but I think this one is my absolute favorite for obvious reasons. But let's create 2 looks with this palette. So I want to start with the purples. I have to dig into these, see what they're like. They're calling to me. These bright blues are absolutely stunning as well. We're definitely going to play with those, but I do really see some interesting kind of shifty shimmer shades in here. Obviously, you've seen the swatches. I have not, but we're going to go ahead and we're going to start with this shade right here. This one is called First Gen. So all of the shade names are on the back of the palette instead of the inside, but they're also colored, so it makes it a little bit easier to figure out. All right, so I'm going to pick up that first shade with a Refer 27 brush, and I'm going to fluff this into my crease, kind of keeping it light and just airy as much as possible. Okay, that definitely has some pigmentation right off the bat. It's not overly pigmented, but it's there, which I like. I can appreciate an eyeshadow that is not overly pigmented, but you know, it still has a little something something to it. That looks pretty. I really like the way that this color is turning out. All right, first shade is down. That looks absolutely beautiful. It went down with no issues, no fallout, very little kick up in the pan, like not even enough to really show off. But let's go ahead and take this to the next level. So I think what I want to do is just kind of follow like a gradient and stick with the more warm tone purples in this palette. We do have some cool tones as well, which I do appreciate, but let's go ahead and jump into this shade right here. This one is, I believe, called Retro, and I'm going to put that into my outer corner. So I'm going to go in with my Sigma X Kristen Dominique. Was this the eye and nose contour brush? I'm going to pick up that shade and put this into my outer corner, and we're going to build up some depth. Oh wow, this formula so far is beautiful. The purples are performing so nicely, and purple, from what I understand, I'm not a chemist, I'm not a eyeshadow palette or like eyeshadow connoisseur, but from what I understand, purple eyeshadows are not easy to make, and I can say I have tried some really awful purple eyeshadows, so I do think there's a lot of truth to that. But that is just packing and building beautifully on the outer corner. No fallout, no patchiness, no grabbing. Oh, this is a stunning formula. Okay, that was easy. Let's build up more. Let's tempt fate just a little bit. So I'm going to go in with this shade down here. This one is called Dark Matter, and we're going to pick up a let's do this one. We're going to pick up a Game Beauty EO7 brush and build up that outer depth just a little bit more. I want to see how these shadows build up on each other. Do they start to skip or patch, or sometimes they just don't build up at all and the pigmentation just kind of fades into itself. But this does seem to be building up beautifully. All right, I love the way that looks. They just seamlessly blend into each other, and that's what I look for in a really good eyeshadow formula. So I'm really excited about this. Let's carry on. Let's do the lower lash line. So for the lower lash line, I'm going to keep this pretty monochromatic. I know that's kind of my style. Sometimes I mix things up a little bit, but when it comes to purples, I just want to play with purples. So I'm going to do this shade right here on my lower lash line. I'm just going to pick it up, fluff it along there, and then we'll line later with an eyeliner. Okay, so I'm just going to pick up that same Game Beauty EO7 brush. I did clean it off, and I'm going to pop into that shade. Oh, I didn't tell you what it's called. It's called Ultraviolet. So I'm going to pop into that, and I am just going to fluff this along the lower lash line. All right, let's throw some shimmer on this lid. I did already go in and prime with my NYX glitter glue. I do that for every single shimmer I put on my lid. I want to play with this shimmer right here. It's calling my name. It's beautiful. It was one of the first ones to catch my eye when I opened up the palette, and that one is called AI. So I'm going to put this all over my lid, and I think I'm going to pop this one into the inner corner. That one is called Moon Jelly. So since I've already primed, all I have to do is go in with my finger. That is a gorgeous shade. We're gonna pop this on here. All right, that's what that shade looks like. Absolutely beautiful. I didn't have any issues putting this on. It does look like it emphasized texture just a little bit, but in all fairness, I am having a lot of like allergy flare-ups with just this eye in particular. So I have a little bit of redness and some texture going on, so I'm going to kind of let it slide on this eye. I will continue to test this out in the future. So this eye is probably going to give us a better idea of what the shimmers do. But I do think that is very pretty, very reflective. It doesn't have like a flip or anything. It's just a really pretty shimmer shade. But let's go ahead and pop in that other shade that is called Moon Jelly into my inner corner. So for this, I am going to eventually have to clean my brushes. Story of my life. All right, so I'm gonna go in with my Morphe M213 brush, pick up the shade, right? Oh, that is very, very soft. So all of these are not created equal. Let me just show you. I don't know if you can see that shade up there. I barely pressed my brush in there, and wow, oh yeah, that is definitely a very soft shimmer. The first one that I used was not very soft, but this one definitely is. So I'm just going to disperse it on the back of my hand a little bit. So be aware of that there are multiple formulas and textures in this palette, because I was not ready for all that. Okay. But that is a gorgeous, gorgeous shade. Oh my gosh. Wow. All right, I'm gonna go ahead and pop on some liner and mascara, and I will come back and show you the first completed look. All right, y'all, so this is going to complete the first look, and this looks absolutely beautiful. This is a very typical me purple eye look, but I love it. I'm here for it. So let me show you really quick what I used to finish off this eye look. So for my lid, I went in and lined with my Glam Light Calligrapher eyeliner, and then I went in with my Lancome Lash Idole mascara as well. And then for my waterline, I went in with one of the ColourPop Cream Gel Liner Multi-Chromes in, I believe it's Actin' Up. It's all rubbed off. I'll let you know. It'll be listed down in the description box, as well as everything else that I use in this video today, everything that's on my face, all of that jazz. So if you're curious about anything, always check down there. Always, always, always. Okay, let's go ahead and move on to this second look. So I want to play with these blues. I think these are absolutely gorgeous. This one up here is calling my name. It is so vibrant, so beautiful, and I really want to play with it. But I think what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna start out with this shade right here, which is called Shallow Waters, and I'm gonna pop that on like the inner half of my crease. All right, so I just picked up that shade with a Rephr 14 brush, and I'm just gonna start right here at the inner corner of my lid, and then just kind of follow like the contour of my lid over into my crease. So I'm not bringing it up like way over here. I'm not bringing it into like the very inner corner of my eye. I'm just following the shape of my eye. That's a really pretty blue. All right, let's go ahead and do the outer part of this lid. So I think what I want to do is I want to go in with, I'm trying to decide between this shade and this shade. I want to save this one for the lower lash line. but I'm looking on camera and I kind of think I want to go in with this shade over here. This one is called Blue Lagoon, so I'm going to kind of fill in the rest of that lid space right there. I'm going to go in with the same brush. I'm not going to switch up the brush because I do like this one for it. So I'm just going to kind of wipe it off, get some of that pigment off, and go in with that Blue Lagoon shade. Tap it off because these are pigmented. Oh yeah, that is pigment. So when I have like a really pigmented shadow, what I like to do is pick it up, tap it off, and then I like to press it in. I feel like I have more control of the shade. It doesn't get away from me as easily. I don't get fallout, and it just goes on so much better. All right, I'm gonna leave that there and kind of leave this space down here open because I wanna pop in a darker shade. So we're gonna go in with this one down here, which is called Deep Blue Sea, and I'm gonna pop this into that outer corner of my lid. I don't want it to take over, but I definitely wanna have some depth. I love depth in my eye looks, in case you haven't noticed or in case you're new here. But for this one, I'm gonna go in with a Game Beauty EO7 brush. I'm going to pick up that shade, tap it off, and we're going to tap it into that outer corner. So again, I'm doing the same thing that I did with this other blue. I am tapping it. I am not swiping or blending because I don't want to lose control and I don't want to get a lot of fallout, but I am kind of tapping it up into that other shade so we have a good seamless blend. All right, I love the way that that looks. Let's move on to the lower lash line. So for the lower lash line, we're gonna go in with this blue up here that I've been eyeballing since I opened up this palette. Now, to me, it looks more like a satin shade, so it's not quite a matte, but I am going to pick this up with a blinged brush E25, and I'm going to pack this along the lower lash line. So again, with the packing, I'm not going to swipe. I'm not going to do a lot of like circular motions. I am packing. Ooh, gorgeous. That is a stunning shade. I love the way that that looks. This is very blue, very gorgeous. I'm here for it. I love it. Let's do some shimmer. So, do I want to go dark and smoky and play with this one down here? I love that shade. I think it's absolutely gorgeous. But I think what we're going to do is we're going to start with this shade over here, which is called Bioluminescence. Okay, and then we're gonna do this one, which is Electric Eel, kind of like right out here. And then for the inner corner, I think we're gonna go back in with this shade again. So I'm gonna go ahead and prime my eyes with my NYX glitter primer, and then we're gonna pop these shimmers on the lid. Okay, so I got my shade names mixed up. This one right here is actually called Electric Eel, and this one over here is called Bioluminescence. Bioluminescence? I think that's how you say that. So I have already primed my eyes, as you know, and I'm going to pick up the shade Electric Eel. That's gorgeous. And I'm going to pop this on the lid, bringing it all the way over. I'm going to leave a little bit of a gap right here and a little bit on that inner corner. That's really pretty as well. All right, so now I'm picking up that darker shimmer shade, and I'm going to pop this right where that deep blue and that shimmer meet, just to give it a nice gradient effect, a good blend, so we don't have a harsh line. Oh yeah, that's pretty. Okay, let's do this inner corner. So I'm going to go in with my same Morphe M213 brush. I'm going to very carefully this time pick up that shade, spray it with my MAC Fix Plus, and pop this into my inner corner. That looks really pretty. I like how on this eye that shade looks a little bit more purple, and then on this eye it looks a little bit more blue. It's very iridescent and just sparkly goodness, and it just kind of takes on any shade that you put with it. But I'm gonna go ahead and pop on my mascara and my liner, and I will come back and show you the completed second look with this palette. Alright y'all, so this is going to complete the second look with the beautiful Nightmare palette. I love it. I think it's beautiful. The blues in here performed beautifully. They are not so overly pigmented where they just kind of took over and made a big old mess. I feel like sometimes blues can do that because they are so heavily pigmented, but these performed beautifully. I had minimal fallout and kick up in the pan with all of the shades that I used on both of my eyes, so I do really love that. This is a really good formula that just kind of blends into itself. It's creamy, it's effortless, it doesn't patch, it doesn't skip, it's not hard to work with. At least the shades in this palette weren't. But let me show you what I used to finish off this eye look. So I did go in with my same liquid liner and mascara that I used on this eye, and then for my lower waterline I went in with my Give liner in the shade Bathwater. And I think that is going to complete both of these looks with this first palette, the beautiful Nightmare that I love. I think this is beautiful. I'm loving the color story, but I'm going to go ahead and remove all of this, and we're going to jump into the Sweet Dreams palette. Alright y'all, my eyes are primed again with the same eyeshadow primer. We are ready to go and play with the Sweet Dreams palette, but I did want to let y'all know really quick, I did have some staining on this eye that I did the blue on, so something to keep in mind. But let's create, if I can get this open, yes, okay. Let's create a couple of looks. So this is so pretty and sunshiny. It's absolutely beautiful, but let's do, I think I want to play with this shade right here, this very like deep grungy yellow shade. Yeah, we're gonna start with that one, and that one is called Sunburst. So I'm gonna go ahead and pick up a Singe Beauty EO3, hop into that color, and we're gonna put this into my crease. Something a little more on the muted side from this bright, beautiful palette. That's going on really nicely. It's pigmented, but it's not overly pigmented. No fallout, very little kick up in the pan. That makes me happy. All right, I like the way that that went down. Very easy, very quick, blended itself. I've got a hair. Okay, let's do another shade. I think I want to pop into this one over here because it's a little bit on like the warmer side, and I think it's going to complement that shade really nicely. That one is called, where am I? Poison Apple. Okay, I'm picking up that shade on a Singe Beauty EO4, and I did get a lot more kick up in the pan with this shade. It kind of crumbled a little bit. That doesn't bother me, but I always like to let you know. But that's really pretty. It's going on nicely. I'm going to take that same shade with the same brush, and I'm going to carry it onto my lower lash line, but I'm only going to take it as far across as I took that shade on my lid, so just kind of match everything up. Alright, so what I want to do next is I want to take this shade right here, which is called Celestial Waves. It's sort of, yeah, it's a little bit more than a satin, but it's not quite a shimmer. But I want to take that shade, I'm going to pick it up with a Sigma E54 brush, and I'm going to put that on the rest of my lower lash line. Right in here. Ooh, I like that. It looks very golden once I get it on there. It'll be really pretty all over the lid. Alright, let's play with some shimmers. I have been eyeballing this one since I got it, and I really want to play with it. That one is called Golden Berry. Yes, that one's called Golden Berry. So I'm going to put that one all over the lid. And then I think for the inner corner, we're going to go in with this really bright yellow shimmer, which is called Megahertz. So I'm going to go ahead and prime my eye with my NYX Glitter Primer, and then we're going to pop on these two shades. Alright, so I picked up Golden Berry. That's really pretty, really reflective. Let's see what it looks like on the lid. Yeah, that looks really pretty. I like how it has sort of that like berry base with that gold flip to it. Perfect with this look. Now I am going to take that finger, no extra product, and I'm just going to lightly tap it right where those shades meet, and I'm going to kind of lightly disperse it up just so we don't have any harsh lines and we have just a really nice consistency. All right, let's do this inner corner. So I'm going to take my Morphe M213 brush. I picked up that shade Megahertz. I'm just going to spray it with my MAC Fix Plus and pop this into my inner corner. Ooh, that's really pretty. It's like sunshine in an eyeshadow and I love it. It's so, so pretty. All right, I'm gonna go ahead and finish up this eye. I'm gonna do my liner and my mascara, and then I will come back and show you the completed first look with this palette. All right, y'all, so this is gonna complete the first look, and this turned out really pretty. I love that shimmer shade. I think it's absolutely gorgeous. I like that it almost looks like an orange reflect on the lid, but everything played really nice. Everything went on very smoothly, even despite this one deeper shade out here feeling a little bit more stiff and crumbly in the pan. It still translated onto the lid beautifully. But let me show you what I used to finish up this look. So I did go in with my same liner and mascara for the lid that I've used in the other two looks, and then for my waterline I went in with one of the Sephora collection 12-hour colorful contour eye pencils. This is in the shade Berry Sweet, and that goes really nice with this look. Okay, let's do our last look. So for this, I want to do bright. I want to do bright. I want to do fun. I really want to play with this yellow over here. I want to play with this hot Barbie pink. We're going to do it. We're going to have some fun. So I'm going to go ahead and start with this shade over here, which is called Soundwave. And I'm going to put that, well, first of all, we're going to smooth that out a little bit. But I think what I want to do is I want to put that kind of almost all over my lid. You'll see what I mean. All right, so I'm going to go in with a Singe Beauty EO6 brush. I'm going to pick up that shade. This one feels a little stiff as well, which that's fine as long as it doesn't translate to the lid and do anything weird. I don't mind. I want to put this, okay, that's like a very, very, very bright, like lemon yellow. Gorgeous. Yeah, that looks stunning. Okay, that is a stunning shade. I don't think I have another yellow like that in my collection. I'm trying to think into the Blend Bunny Surge palette. I don't even think that has a yellow that looks like that. But we're gonna go ahead and we're gonna go in with this bright like Barbie pink shade down here. This one is called Wednesday, and I'm gonna pop that on the other half of my lid. I'm gonna pick this up with a Singe Beauty EO2, and again I am packing, I am not swiping. Wow, holy smokes, that is like the most vibrant hot pink and I love it. Okay, so right in the middle where these two shades meet, I'm going to kind of press in and then go back and wiggle, just so we have like a nice seamless, well, not seamless, it'll look more seamless after we get the shimmer on, but I don't want to have like a, you know, like a harsh line. I adore these two shades. These are so, so pretty. Oh my gosh. Okay, for the lower lash line, do I want to keep it bright or do I want to take some depth down there? Oh, let's go in with this shade right here. This one is called Charisma. So for Charisma, I am going to pick that up with a Singe Beauty EO5, and I'm going to fluff this along my lower lash line. think I like that little bit of depth on the lower lash line. It kind of adds a little something. You could absolutely go back and carry this down to the lower lash line. I almost did, but I want to try and use as many shades as possible. Obviously, I'm not going to get to every shade in this palette, but you know, as many as we can use in these looks, that's what we're going to do. So I am just popping on my NYX glitter primer. I'm going to put this pretty much all over my lid up here. All right, so we're going to pop a couple of different shimmers on the lid. So I really want to play with this one and this one. So I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to put the pink on the pink side and the yellow on the yellow side, and then kind of smush them together with this shade right there in the middle. So I'm going to pick up the shade Life Source, which is that first yellow shimmer. Looks really, really pretty. And I'm going to pop this all in here, and I'm going to bring it over as far as my finger will get me. I do want to kind of keep a matte inner corner. I'm liking that neon yellow in there to right there. Ooh, Brody must see something outside because he's losing his mind out there. Okay, we're going to go in with the pink shimmer, which is called Princess in Training. I like that name. These shimmers seem a lot softer in this palette than they did in the other one, but I'm going to pop that right there. This is definitely giving Barbie vibes, and I'm here for it. Okay, so I'm taking that shade Golden Berry that I used over here, and I'm literally going right in the middle where those two shades meet. So I'm not taking this very far on my lid. I just want to smush everything together and give it a good blend. I think that looks really pretty. Definitely a different kind of look for me, but I like it. I think it turned out really, really fun. Okay, I want to do one last finishing touch. The more and more I look at this, I want to go in with this really light pink shade right here, which is called a Whittle Pink. Oh, I love it. Little with a W. And I'm going to pick that up with a Singe Beauty E33, and I just want to go right along like the edge of that hot pink, just kind of diffusing it a little bit because I feel like it looks just a little too harsh. And as much as I like it, I just want a softer blend. All right, I'm taking that same brush, I'm wiping it off, and I'm going to go into this yellow shade right here, which is called Transmission, and I'm going to do the same thing with that shade that I did with that light pink shade right above the yellow. I don't know how much of a difference this is making on camera, but in person, this is making a huge difference. All right, this is what we're looking like. I'm gonna go ahead and throw on some liner, some mascara, and I will come back and show you the completed look. All right, y'all, this is gonna complete our final look with the Sweet Dream palette, and I love the way this turned out. This was definitely something a little bit more different, a little bit more creative for me, but really, really fun. I like the placement of this. I just like the way that it turned out. These shades in here are gorgeous. They're very pigmented, but they're blendable, they're smooth. I didn't have any issues with anything. I did get a little bit of fallout with some of the yellow, but I was really going in hard and packing them on. But let me show you what I used to finish off this look, and then we will zoom out and discuss both of these palettes. So I went in with my same liquid liner and mascara that I've been using in every single look, and then for my waterline I went with a NYX Epic Wear liner in the shade Pink Spirit to finish this off, and I think it went together absolutely beautifully. I like it. This might actually be my favorite look of all the looks. I don't know. But let me go ahead and zoom you out a little bit and let's chat. All right, let's chit chat about these palettes because I have some thoughts. So the Beautiful Nightmare palette, let's talk about her first because this is the first one that we used. First of all, the packaging is absolutely gorgeous. It's stunning. I like the artwork. This is very like heavy duty. It's very well made. It doesn't feel cheap. And when we open her up, we do have a really nice mirror in here. I'm not going to flip it up because I don't want to blind you, but the color story in here is gorgeous. This calls to me. This is a me color story. There's something about purple and blue in a palette that I'm like, yes, please. I will take that. Let me have every single one that you have. But this was gorgeous. The shades that I played with performed very, very well. I didn't have any issues with patching or skipping. I didn't get a whole lot of fallout. I got minimal. Did get some, but it wasn't very much. But these are pigmented, but they're blendable, they're buildable, they don't kind of take over and get away from you. I like the variation of colors in here. We've got cool tones, we've got warm tones, we've got a really nice inner corner shade that's absolutely beautiful. I use that in both looks, but this is a really, really pretty palette. I like the formula in here. I am blown away by this formula. Like, where has this brand been all my life? I know it's newer to the scene, but it's not that new. So gorgeous. I love it. And remember, this one does come in a 9-pan more curated version as well. So if this is a little bit too big and overwhelming, or maybe you don't need this much variety, you can definitely pick up that one as well. But let's talk about the Sweet Dreams palette. So again, packaging is gorgeous. It's sturdy. Same thing as the beautiful Nightmare palette. I love, love, love her dress in this. Like, look at that gorgeous dress. I want to be her. I want to live in that castle, in that little like lollipop land. I think it's beautiful. But this one, let's open up the color story. So we have this really pretty, bright, beautiful pink and yellow color story. That's exactly what this one is. I do think this one could have definitely been scaled down. I think there's a little bit of redundancy in the shades. I think a 16-pan palette probably would have been perfect for this. I know it comes in a 9-pan as well, but yeah, I think that maybe a couple of shades could have gone. Like, I don't think I need both of these or both of these. Same thing with the shimmers. I don't know if I need both of these, but either way, it's still a gorgeous palette. It performed really, really well. I will say that the shimmers in this palette seemed a little softer, except for that one iridescent shade that I used in this one. That one just kind of sunk into itself. So there is some different variety as far as formulas go, but the mattes in this palette seemed a little more stiff and more on the dry side than they did in the other palette, but that did not translate onto the lid. I didn't have any issues blending, building up the color. You saw it firsthand. Everything went on absolutely beautiful. Again, minimal fallout, but it performed beautifully. So overall, I love both of these palettes. I am very impressed with both of them. I do wish this one had been curated down just a little bit, but I do understand that they wanted to keep like the symmetry and have them, you know, kind of dark side, light side. I get it. But if this color story speaks to you, I would say definitely probably go with the 9-pan. I don't think you need the full array of all these colors. Now, you do you. What you decide to do is what you decide to do. Obviously, I purchased the big one because I'm extra. It is what it is. But if you want to save some coin, go for the 9-pan on this one. But either way, I don't think you'll be disappointed. This brand is definitely on my radar. I want to try more from them. I want to try some of the 9-pans. I know that they've got like some blushes and bronzers and things like that. They're on my radar. I'm here. I'm ready to try out more from them, and I will definitely keep my eye on them in the future. But I want to hear from all of you. First of all, which look was your favorite out of all of these? I still think this one's my favorite. There's something about it that is just so bright and fun and pretty, and it reminds me of Pink Lemonade, and I think it's gorgeous. But I want to know which look is your favorite. I want to know which palette is your favorite. Are you more of like the dark blue and purple tones? Did you like more of the pink and yellow tones? They're both gorgeous. I can't decide. But also, did you pick either of these up? Did you pass on them? Have you tried CXC Beauty before? What do you think? What palettes do you recommend if you have tried them? Let me know everything that you have to say. Let's have that conversation light at the comment section down below. And as usual, I want to thank you all so much for spending your time with me and watching my video. It truly does mean so, so much. And if you like this video, make sure you give it a big thumbs up before you leave. Don't forget to hit that that subscribe button and click on that notification bell so that you can be notified of all my future posts here on my channel. I do post quite a few videos every single week, most days if not every day, and I wouldn't want you to miss one. But until my next video, have a good one. Bye.